The Halden, a three-building, 303-unit apartment complex at 1133 Westchester Avenue in White Plains, was formally opened on July 11th. A venture of the RPW Group, owner of 1133, and Cleveland-based the NRP Group, the project was made possible through an overlay zone allowing residential uses at office parks in White Plains. Jonathan Gertman of the NRP Group recalled that state restrictions imposed to combat the COVID pandemic affected the project.
We worked socially distanced, we had supply chain issues, we had a 400% spike in lumber costs. Remember those? I don't want to give the construction team PTSD here. But in the end, that is not going to be the story of the Halden. To me, the indelible takeaway of this project is working together to do something significant and worthy under challenging circumstances. So I hope you all feel the deep pride and satisfaction that I do, because we wouldn't be here without each of you. Mayor Roach and the Common Council for White Plains, they had the foresight to understand that how we live and work was going to evolve, even in ways they maybe at the time couldn't fully visualize. But they created this overlay zone that laid the groundwork for this project to happen. And change, scares people, and fear of something different stops a lot of progress. But this city is led by individuals that embrace change and demanded high standards. And the evolution of the skyline and the quality and the community change that's happening is evidence of that. The support of the county IDA was critical to making this project a reality. And when the economic landscape changed drastically and suddenly, they responded quickly with the tools to help keep things on track. And we remember that, and we're really grateful for that. You've also been dedicated and tremendous partners in building affordable housing, whether through projects like what we're doing in New Rochelle and Mount Vernon, or supporting inclusionary practices like we have here at the Halden.
We, years ago, and I'm going to just harken back to when Sue Habel was the planning commissioner, saw an issue developing with the corporate parks along both along 287, but also in other parts of the county. What's the future of them going to be? Because people were headed to downtowns, et cetera. And the future was going to be, got to be more flexible. And so that's when the overlay came up. That's when it was put in place. And this is a great example of what we had in mind. And not just as we stand here at this building that we're all proud to see in our city today, but also when you see how bustling this 1133 is, how active it is, how successful it is. Now, a lot of that comes from putting money into your properties and having a quality product, which is Robert Weiss's trademark. And then Andrew comes in with this side of it and oversees this, comes out so well. And I just see this fitting together more than some of the other mixed use I've seen, because there's a lot happening here. There is definitely going to be people who live here and walk across the parking lot to their jobs. There's going to be people pulling out of work, getting ready to drive back to wherever, looking over here and being interested in what the rents are. And I think that that's what we had in mind, is that to pretend that you can keep things in amber and not make any changes is a recipe to have, I don't know if I should even say it, but at the time I said mausoleums, because if you just stick with where you were, you're going nowhere.
The Westchester County IDA is so pleased to have provided benefits to this project, this innovative residential development that is bringing much needed housing to the I-287 corridor, thanks to Mayor Roach's vision of the overlay. This project is part of an emerging trend that has been transforming vacant office parks into new uses, such as Wegmans, Lifetime Fitness, and other uses. These important developments are creating jobs and adding economic vibrancy to Westchester County. More importantly, this project adds over 300 new housing units, of which 19 are affordable, to those making 60% of the area median income. As you know, Westchester and the rest of the region is experiencing a historic shortage of housing, and this development brings much needed market rate and affordable housing stock.
And this was just grassland and part of a parking lot, and now we stand here 3 years later, 303 units that is thriving, and I think we've created something quite unique here, one of the first true suburban live-work environments in the county and in the region. So I'm particularly proud of that. You know, we've owned this site for 20 years, and I would say We first, I believe, filed plans for a hotel here in 2008. So that was approximately 15 years ago. And we really could never get something done here for one reason. We couldn't find the right partnership. And that was until we met the NRP group that we felt incredibly comfortable with their knowledge, with their expertise, and most importantly, with their reputation.